allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
Chai. Wow. People wey suppose talk to power don't off mind. And if we talk 500,000 call am hate speech. But fear not. Maiyegun don come. Multiply every corner. Nooks and crannies of people wey dey spoil our country. So my people make we laugh. My people make we shout. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses. Maiyegun diary Politico. This one not dey off in mind. Can he dey touch like every corner? Okay, some people be dey holla say dem want the power. Dem be promise us say we go get light and power. Dem hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you ladder. Maiyegun don come. My people make we shout. Maiyegun don come. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses. Maiyegun don come. Maiyegun diary Politico. Maiyegun don come. This one not dey off in mind. Maiyegun don come. Person wey dey do evil no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too dey talk. He too dey talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin dey the street dey hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you laugh. Maiyegun don come. My people make you shout. Maiyegun don come. Maiyegun don come, man of the man.
Hello there.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun diary, lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun diary, gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun dá wa sí. Maiyegun diary, àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary,
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Maiyegun live.
Maiyegun diary Politico.
It don't happen. It don't shele. They have now confirmed that the returned loot have now been relooted. That is not a breaking news to anybody who is a brethren on the temple of in the temple of truth. We knew that a year ago, or maybe more. Share these broadcasts. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them.
Lórí Facebook, and yes, we like Lórí YouTube.
To a lot of you who will remember the story of Magu Luther Crook, remember. That was pretty much like about 4 years ago. Brethren, we knew that the returned loot to Nigeria was being relooted, right? 4 years ago. Now they have declared some people wanted. That the returned loot from 2016 to 2019, they couldn't trace them in the Central Bank of Nigeria. Meanwhile, International Monetary Fund, popularly known as IMF, who praised Tinubu for removing subsidy, they are pressing him again for secretly paying subsidy. Okay, Motide. Now, good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you as well from wherever you are watching from. It is Maiyegun Live. And thank you so much to those of you who have shared the broadcast. Okay. To those of you who have also paid your offering, like you have liked the broadcast. Thank you. But just before we go deeper into the broadcast tonight, could you please spare me a minute of your time by joining me to wish Yomi Totu a happy birthday? He was born on the day of love. I didn't know that. No wonder he's been an amazing individual, one of you that I've met, and I'm so grateful for meeting as well. So thank you so much. Happy birthday, Totu. Long life and prosperity, all right? And then remain yourself as you've always been. So thank you, guys. Now, if you have read the caption of the broadcast, and you have also read the caption of the you have read the description of the broadcast. Listen, we are going to start with the part where the noise out there right now, which is their, properly scripted propaganda to clear the robber in thief, I've been a robber in chief, armed robber in chief, and that would be Buhari. And the damages and the ruins, the looting, the destruction of Nigeria under these rogues, they need a fall guy. And it seems Emefiole is going to be their fall guy. Why they entertain you with all kinds of nonsense, you will never get to the bottom of it. Shishi will never be recovered. And the whole damages done will never be punished. The same rogues will then use this stolen fund again to further help Nigeria into the graves. Somehow, it can be a win-win for so many of us who really believes that except this guy self-destructs, it will take it will take much effort to get rid of them. But let's start with their news that all Emefiole did. Yeah, the trajectory right now is to make it look like he acted alone. In fact, the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria was a Yahoo boy all that time. Even when he came out with all these same rogues like Buhari and gang to celebrate some of the policies that have further destroyed Nigeria till today, right? They said he either deceived them or forged their certificates. But do you know the irony of it? The particular one they have now sort of picked on is that, listen, $6.2 million was withdrawn from the Central Bank of Nigeria. And The purpose was to give it to election observers who are coming to observe Nigeria elections. Now, it is now a controversy because when the process of withdrawing that money was followed according to by their law, right? The secretary to the government of the federation raised a memo concerning this election. We need to pay election observers in dollars, $6.5 million. Then this same memo was passed on to the president. That was Buhari. Buhari minuted on it and signed it. Just a month and about 2 weeks, just about 6 weeks to the elections, they gave it to Emefiole. Emefiole opened the vault, released the money, and gave the $6.5 million cash to Boss Mustafa's secretary. Now, this Boss Mustafa's secretary is not featuring in all of this. So, Kolu, that is doing some home cleaning, trying to figure out which of the biggest looting they will go for first. I told you here when the announcement came that Nigeria Foreign Reserve was used as a mortgage, as a collateral for a loan of $30 billion. That yet we still don't know what they did with that money. However, since the signature and the memo originated from the office of the secretary to the state, to the federal government, Boss Mustafa, so he was invited. They did not arrest him. They did not arrest his secretary. They did not arrest Buhari, the two principal signatory that gave approval. So when Boss Mustafa got to the court, he was there as a witness, as a victim. And he boldly told them the two signatures were forged. I did not sign it. What about the money? I don't know anything about any money. But your signature was there. Buhari's signature was there. No, it was all forged. Look at that signature. It's a little bit faint. Buhari's signature, Buhari signs with thick pen, very thick pen. So his signature is very thick. That's why he said it. That's why he told the court. And that's what Nigeria media grabbed. And that is what they have been running with. In fact, BBC is also running the same thing. Why? A day after Boss Mustafa said, the signature must have been forged. It's not from us. So they quickly took, Emefiole is already on that probe, Abi. They quickly picked 3 other CBN staff, possibly those who also work in the operation that facilitated, maybe even the Megad that opened the vault. You get what I mean? So 3 of them, they now declared them wanted. BBC is already helping them to amplify that. Some people forged, just like that. It's not that, Boss Mustafa denies involvement in $6.2 million scam, election scam. Do you get that now? By saying his signature must have been forged. No. They ran with the headline that, they forged Buhari's signature and they also forged Boss Mustafa's signature and they are victims now. Okay? Now let's now come back to the part of the rider, the headline. From the same investigation of the Central Bank of Nigeria, remember, just please don't get emotional. Okay? All I'm just telling you right now is just to bring you up to date. And at the same time, it also fits so well into our theory of why Nigeria will never work. You just get to see this, and as a need to know basis, because they are facts. Do you understand? Now, as they are releasing these remnants, it's not because they wanted to fight any corruption. No. Do not get emotional and begin to feel like, oh, that means they are doing the right thing. This whole thing is scripted. And gradually, it's going to fizzle out. And all these billions, trillions, billions, trillions that you are hearing, and all these names that you're hearing, right? And all these crimes they have committed, they will fizzle out. Because the enough shege they are unleashing on you every minute is enough to melt your brain. Seriously. And that's how they get away with a lot. But the reason why you are listening to this on this platform from Maiyegun tonight is because it is on a need to know basis. Now, having known all of this, and you still kind of feel convinced that something good is still going to come out of this without ending these rogues, then I will leave you to that. That will be your judgment. That's not going to be mine. Do you understand? So they said when they started digging into the central bank, this same Emefiole central bank, they discovered that, ladies and gentlemen, brethren in the temple, all of the Maja, EFCC, Maguluta Kruku, arresting, and all this money they were discovering in septic tank, in soakaway, inside graveyard, inside coffin, abandoned flats, all those millions, billions, blah, blah, blah. Those dramas of 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. 4 straight years, guys. They were all for Abu. Just some jobs for the boys. No shishi from all those announcements. It's been a while now that you hear that they found money somewhere, or somebody stole money, and it's been a while, right? But we are talking about the time that they used that to coerce some gullible minds to make them believe that they were actually fighting corruption, while the profligacy, the looting, the stealing were being done right in the open. They were not even hiding it. Because to some gullible ones, it must be right if they were doing that. It must be some people. They were stealing money. They found money in judges' houses. They found money inside some, toddlers' bank accounts. All of that money, Baba, Shengbai, no central bank. Shengbai. It's not only that the money is not there. Oh. Listen to me very carefully. Oh. They could not trace what they used the money for. I am going to rejig your memory so that you will remember that 4-5 years ago, we were already talking about the relooting of the loot, relooting of return loot. Go back into the memory, go back into the diary now. Okay, you will see there. Go on to MaiyegunsDiary Politico and search for Maguluta Kruku, returned loot, relooted loot. You will see abundant content on this. Years ago, they say, shut up your mouth. What did they use Abacha return loot for? It has been added to the national purse. The money has been used on education. Yeah, these were the Buhari diddens. The era of the Buhari denotus, the Buhari dijatus, the Buhari shukus, the Ngoziaris, the Unekaris, the Abrodian Buhari idiots too. The Mumumadus, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers. They were always on my platform telling me, you are just telling me of this. Huh? They are fighting corruption. They have a returning loot too. But these guys were making deals at first, so you know, okay? Every returned loot from abroad to Nigeria, that time, Abubakar Malamu, the Attorney General of Nigeria, then under Buhari, the guy was making a kill. He was getting his own percentage to say, yes, imagine this fraud. Oh. When a government is formed, and then you begin to appoint your political appointees, and you begin to apportion their portfolios to them, right? So what you are practically doing is that, you are opening shops for them on agriculture, on tourism, on power, on on health, on education. So they are administrators that carries out the government's policies in those businesses. Like, even though governments are not supposed to be in business, the government has no business in business. But in Nigeria, Shashe, you get, they were supposed to carry out those, right? Now, you see the Ministry of Justice, they gave them minister. And the minister of the Ministry of Justice is known as the Attorney General or Minister of Justice of the Federation. But I prefer to call it Attorney General. As a Yoruba man, Attorney General is a deceiver. So if you now have somebody who is supposed to be the number one law officer of the country, the chief law officer of the country, the Minister of Justice, who is a deceiver, a liar, you get what I mean? Fraud, a total criminal. I don't even know why he's not in chains right now, but I do know why he's not, by the way. So that's pretty much like not true. I do know why he's not in chain. Nigeria is a place where criminals are rewarded. And if you dare raise your voice about the activities of the criminals, you will either be jailed, killed, and if you are lucky, exiled. Do you get that now? So Attorney General of Nigeria then, Abubakar Malamu, he was making a kill for himself, 30%. You know what he was doing? You are the Minister of Justice. Therefore, in this office, you have senior lawyers being paid by Nigeria. Do you know that? Yeah, that's what Ministry of Justice is. And the Minister of Justice is expected to assemble the best brains, the best legal brains for government to fight for government. Anytime government get case, it will go into, it's like a DA. You know, when you have DA, all those DA in America, right? District attorneys, right? They work for the council. Do you get that now? Some of them are higher. Okay, I think it's different because DA office does work other jobs too, right? I think it's not really different, okay? But they get paid once they do any job for government. Like if they do any legal job for government, they get paid. They can do their own job too, In the office of the Attorney General of Nigeria, there were supposed to be senior lawyers who are being paid millions of naira every month as their salaries for working in the office of the Minister of Justice. Whenever there is any case against the federal government of Nigeria, the Minister of Justice was supposed to assemble the best brain from his, because it's like he has his own chamber as a Minister of Justice. Do you understand? Formulating different, looking into any legal lacuna, into any government policies before they get out there. You get what I mean? Baba, under Buhari, Malamu was officially collecting almost 30% of return loot to Nigeria. Almost 30%. 18% for the lawyer. 12%, I think 11 or 12% for the consultant. Meanwhile, they are the same consultant, they are the same lawyers. So they need to pay them for their jobs. Okay? So Abubakar Malamu, who came in when most of the deals were already concluded on how to return some of the Abacha loot and few other loots like that. Then Goodluck Egberejo Lantern got replaced by Buhari. The only thing Buhari's government needed to do was what? To say, now we are ready, send us the money. Do you understand? They didn't have to do anything anymore. Abubakar Malamu put official gazette together and said, even though they were not the ones who attended some of the court cases, appearances in those countries that were returning money, they just got appointed and they came into office, right? They opened business. So instead of them to just do it normal and let the whole loot that they are returning be returned to Nigeria and used for your good, Abi. No. What they did was, Abubakar Malamun said, Nigeria federal government, in order to receive the expected return loot, Nigeria federal government has assembled some legal team to look into all of these agreements. Now, just by reading all the agreements of how they want to return loot, these guys were paid 18% of those. So if they, and under Buhari, Abacha loot of over $3 billion were returned in those 8 years. Yes, over $3 billion. Imagine collecting 30% of $3 billion. All by just putting some names together and say, some lawyers are the ones who are going to have to sign here on behalf of Nigeria. They have to sign that legally everything is fine. So they sign. Malamu did not pick people from his office. He said they hired lawyers. And in that, the agreement is that once the loot is returned, they must be paid 18% of it. And others will collect 12%. That was the beginning of the relooting of the returned loot. The second version of the part of how they were relooting the returned loot under Buhari was when they told you, I remember the stories of these wearies then, the Buhari idiot, the Sai barbarians. Every time when we wake up on Facebook, dear Zani has returned $90 billion. $90 billion. Okay. Tomorrow morning you will wake up again. Sai Baba, God bless you. These Olori Brukus were suffering then, oh. You understand? But to make themselves feel better, they was, do you remember sometimes when they were sharing some images of abandoned cars that were kind of overgrown by bush? How many of you will remember those era when APC, Egbekegbe, will be sharing photo of these abandoned cars, luxury cars, and they will say, God will bless Buhari. They have just discovered that the former governor of Bauchi, PDP governor, has over 500 luxury cars buried underground. And these were pictures from Malaysia, drug dealers, drug dealing bust and all that, right? They won't kill us with fake news that time. And if you dare tell them, say, Baba, I don't see this photo before. Now fake. Baba, this one no be Nigeria, na Kenya. Baba, this one, you get, they will just go mad at you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the picture is from Kenya. The story is true. The story is true. My neighbor, who was coming from Benue yesterday, said he saw the cars. These Olori Brukus were dying slowly. So, and we were asking questions then. You get what I mean? We were asking questions. How could you be recovering this amount of money and you are still borrowing money? Why? This whole thing, they make sense now. Somebody returned 90 billion. Another person, they discover 100 billion inside the graveyard. They found 150 billion. They had 1 trillion. This billion. Meanwhile, they were using all of that to distract these idiots while they were mortgaging their future. The one that Kolu has now come to finally bury. You go see. No be say person they wish them on people. If you don't stop these criminals, if you don't stop them, they won't stop. Okay? If you don't kill this government of murderers, they will kill you. I am saying this to you, literally. Okay? The second part of the relooting that happened right before our very eyes was when we discovered that Maguluta Kruku had an agent that is pretty much like the pointer. Since the EFCC had the best tools to either trace money, cause illegal money, illegal trade, and other stuff that can cause economic ruin in Nigeria. But they weren't really doing that for the purpose of ending corruption in Nigeria. Okay? It was a business. They were giving him a award here and there. Okay? We didn't know that majority of those that they bring to us and show to us as corrupt, what do you call it, economic criminal or criminals, they were those who didn't pay. How did we know? Thank you. It be like this Emefiole case. One day, just one morning, we just hear the breaking news. Breaking news. Wetin happen again? Oh, Maguluta Kruku has been detained inside the asshole rock gallows. Kiloshe. This is the guy they said is helping them to fight corruption. Alaye discovered money inside the Koi flat. Then find money enter graveyard. What did they do? They said all those were smoke screen. Even though, just so Nigerians will know that everything you are seeing, they are like abracadabra. You will ask yourself, if all of this fight against terror, against corruption, the way they are showing it, how come money still they miss? That is the smoke screen. But when they want to throw somebody under the bus, they do let out some of the things that we know, but they love to deny. Breaking news. Maguluta Crook arrested. Bawo. They said he was invited by the money queen inside the asshole Rocky, Mumumadu Bokuwari. But it wasn't Mumumadu Bokuwari that invited Maguluta Kruku. It was Malamu. According to what they shared with us, Maguluta Crook is a crook. And he will face judgment. Judgment, Ikiloshe, and he is not alone. In fact, he has an accomplice who has been helping to keep majority of the supposed loot, recovered loot, for themselves on behalf of Maguluta Crook. Since your guy be the senior manager of the Maja catch dog, I've been a dog catcher, as they will say, thief catcher, himself be thief. So if your guy be the Maja and you have the data of everyone and which amount of money is in their different bank accounts, how much properties can be traced to them, and how do you think they got all of that, even if it is not from government money, from corruption, crime, because their name is Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. You get that? They were supposed to be fighting all fronts, but they were making money all fronts, all sides. So what was that? Once they know that, once Maguluta Crook tells his friend that we are going after the owner of Access Bank tomorrow or next week. But Abu, I don't know if you can do your thing. This is his document. We trace all these properties to him. Some of them are abroad, but the ones abroad, we can't do much about them. But the ones here, wherever you can, Yahoo boys, they take their cars, take their houses, and they free them. Even when they even show them on their crime fighters, their properties are missing. How did we know this? When Maguluta Crook was detained, they said Maguluta Crook could not account for all the houses, properties, money collected from looters, criminals, but they could trace some of the properties to the associate of Maguluta Kruku, the guy who changed the names of the properties to his, then sell them off and keep the money. They were making a kill. Yes, they were. But that was not the reason why Maguluta Kruku was detained. Again, they just wanted you to see that whatever you saw then, they were just abracadabra. Okay? Nobody is fighting any corruption. But you know something? This Maja guy, that is fighting corruption, that is collecting bogus fake awards here and there, just like Abba Oshtelo Kyari, the one they gave the Super Cup of Nigeria, who happened to be the head of the underworld in Nigeria. Name it: drug dealers, armed robbers, kidnappers, money launderers, name it, human traffickers, organ traffickers. That's the guy who was the head of the whole thing in Nigeria then. And it was also the Nigeria Super Cup, the Nigeria Robocup. At a point, they were even thinking it was going to become the police IG, Inspector General of Police in Nigeria, Abba Oshtelo Kyari. You get what I mean? It is similar to this Maguluta Kruku, right? Maguluta Kruku was also a superstar who was fighting this or that. Alaye gbogbo, all these things you collected from these criminals, where are they? They were gone. Gone. Okay, oh yeah, you know what? If that is the case, release Maguluta Kruku to the streets. Let the streets do the judgment. Abi now? No. They did not arrest or removed Maguluta Kruku because he was relooting the returned loot too. It was simply because back then, remember the cabal, the cabal inside the asshole Rocky. They felt like this Maguluta Kruku was supposed to go after Tifnumbu. That was the beginning of the time when they were trying to stop Tifnumbu. Ahead of time. They now discovered that Tifnumbu we don't buy everybody around Buhari. Now the rest is history today. I am telling you, I'm giving you a flashback to the time that Maguluta Kruku was the first casualty of the supposed Buhari's cabal coming for Tifnumbu. They said that Maguluta Kruku was already Tifnumbu's boy. They told Maguluta Kruku to do something and kind of get Tifnumbu off the radar because Tifnumbu want to be APC, Egbekegbe's presidential candidate for 2023. They now discovered, say the Orisha, Maja don't collect bribe. How did Maguluta Kruku become Tifnumbu's boy? Malamu couldn't take it. And that was how Maguluta Kruku was gone. He was never tried in any court. To us, he was lying in jail inside the asshole rock. I mean, and you were not sure, but that was where he was for months until they brought that other young guy who was also like removed as a thief. Anyway, all this story of relooting the loot, they have now come out officially that Maiyegun was right. They won't say that to me. They won't even apologize to me. They won't even come back and say, I remember that time, Maiyegun, I was one of those who said you are just somebody who don't like Nigeria. You are just somebody who don't wish Nigeria well. But I'm so sorry, Maiyegun, that I did not believe you when you said they were relooting the loot. Like I told you, this doesn't mean that people where they tell you all of this, they are telling you because they too are already, they are not already doing the worst. Unago film is similar. The same playbook. They won't come back to me and say, Maiyegun, sorry. I remember that time. They won't. They are still here now, the wearies, who have become the virus, a mutated COVID-19 virus. And that is the bat starts today. The bat idiots today. They said all of those stories about return loot. Baba, shishi no day. And it is not just that shishi no day. It is the fact that they can't even tell what they use it for. There are many things they can't tell what they use the money for. But the real criminals who did it, they are already championing propaganda to hoodwink you and make you believe that even if all these things happened, okay, fine, all these things happened, money was stolen, okay, yes. But what happened is that people's signatures were forged. So if they can forge Buhari's signature, forged Boss Mustafa's signature, so who else signature they cannot forge? Now on top that forged signature, now that one you go take talk until it will fizzle out. But do you know what will never fizzle out? What will never kind of pass away is the effect of what they have done. Since they won't be punished for it, they will just put up a show for you. And you know that they will never punish themselves. Okay? And even if they tell you that, oh, we have recovered so money, blah, 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 from somewhere, right? Trust me, it will also be relooted. Another story will develop again in few years, Abi. The only way you can stop all this madness, help your mental health, is to focus, okay? And believe that except these criminals are held responsible for their crimes, they will keep recycling themselves and representing themselves to you, making you feel like, yeah, they just lied against me that time. I am a different person now. I'm not a thief anymore, and all of that. And then you, hoping that maybe you are smart because you believe them again. The only way to stop this cycle, to break it, is what? Is to break your mental slavery from thinking that those who are chasing these thieves today will not be chased tomorrow. But the consequences of all these chasings and all these stealings and all that is that Nigeria will continue to what? To be poorer and poorer. The economy will continue to what? To get, to go down and down and down and down. And the effect on that, the effect of that on you probably will be enough for you to stand up and remember what Maiyegun says. If you don't stop them, they will never stop. Okay? If they have to put up a show to make you think something is happening, they will put up a show. You will be hearing all the billions, trillions, billions, trillions. They will be flying here and there. But guess what? None of them will be punished for any of this crime. And if they pretend to punish anybody, they also pardon themselves too. At least people jailed by PDP, they were pardoned, jailed by PDP for corruption, governors. They were pardoned by Buhari, the one that came to fight corruption since they decided to join APC. All of that happened right before your eyes. Why they also distract you with another one to make you think something is happening. The same thing is happening now, distracting you. I will be here. Inshallah, I will be here. People will curse us at the time. If you, I don't know if some of you probably remember this. I think it's this.
I might be 3 weeks. Okay, I'm for any breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. PMS. FX. Power. In committed at a yoye, Babami. Maiyegun. Gbogbo ẹni tó ní ò ní dúró ṣe. Ọmọ máa kú lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan báyìí. Ọ̀nà rèé, wọ́n kọ̀ ṣe báyìí fún wọn ni. Wọ́n kọ̀ mọ́ lọ kú. Tinubu, ìwọ ló ní fídíò yìí o. Olórí burúkú Báwà kò ní wọnú ẹ̀. Olórí burúkú Emefiele kò ní wọnú ẹ̀. Fídíò tí wọ́n ọ̀tọ̀ ni, ogun ló máa pa wọ́n. Bọ̀ ìwọ, bàbá mi, gbogbo ẹni tó bá máa yọ ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ sílẹ̀ lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan báyìí ni wọ́n mọ̀ yọ wọ́n bí ọwọ́. Wọ́n mọ̀ yọ ẹni tó bá ní ò ní ṣe. Ṣé o rí bí mo ṣe ń pè ọ́ lórúkọ yìí? Ń pè ọ́ lórúkọ o. Kábíyèsí sá, máa ṣe à. Èwo oríkúnlẹ̀ mo wà. Ọkọ mi, ọmọ àròmù, ò ní sórí burúkú. O máa jí, wàá tún jí ẹni tó bá ní òní jí òní ṣe òní gbébà tó bá ṣe jí báyìí wọ́n á sọ pé wọ́n ń ṣe bẹ́rí àlọ́wọ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run fún mẹ́ta tó yọ yẹn tó yọ ṣọ́ọ̀kì lẹ́sẹ̀ wọn ẹ ní sórí burúkú tọmọtọmọ Ṣèyí Tinubu ò ní kú o Fọláṣadé ò ní sórí burúkú Rẹ̀mí pílà ẹ ní kú màmá èmi ò rúro fún tẹ́ ẹ ṣe tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ kó tálí. tó bá ní Nàìjíríà máa dà Nàìjíríà máa dùn ẹnìkan ló mọ wá ṣe ẹnìkan ṣoṣo ló dé ti dé ó ti dé bàbá báwo ni inú èèyàn ṣe máa jọ Dẹ̀ǹdé tó bá ń sùn nínú ilé ó kọ̀ jí ó kọ̀ tún gbọ́ another news báwo ni inú ẹ̀ ṣe rí láláì má bribe ẹ wọn fún ẹ lówó bí inú mi ṣe ń dùn nìyẹn bí irú bàbá wo rè àwọn ò ní pa ẹ o tó bá fẹ́ pa ẹ ogun ló máa pa wọ́n.
Anybody tó bá sọ pé ó fẹ́ pa Tinubu ogun máa pa this time around they make that guy Afolayan you probably you know him very well he's it's one of, I don't know how to describe him by the way, like, it's one of those clowns, that were supposed to be not only educated, is also well traveled, I believe, and is an actor too. You see, before the elections, right? This guy, if this guy talks about the bad government, the failed government in Nigeria and all of that, oh, a lot of this, some of you actually loved him so much. But me, they use my side eye chart, they follow. Then when the election came, this guy was practically calling any Yoruba that failed to support Tinubu Omoale. He is one of those who amplified that Omoale. Do you understand? And when Tinubu now came in and announced that he has removed subsidy so that he can save the money to improve the welfare of Nigerians. Also that he has also decided to float the Naira. Okay? So he was so happy. He said he was naturally happy. Okay, that a lot of people believe that subsidy is a scam because politicians told them it's a scam. Yes, there is corruption around it, but subsidy is not scam. All over the world, there is always a segment of the society that the government have to subsidize, or else there will be wahala. Do you understand? It is only in Nigeria that Nigerians, after they use their tax money to pay the official salaries of these criminal politicians, Nigerians still have to subsidize them, subsidize their family, subsidize their own extended friends and all of that, when they allocate humongous amount of money for their own welfare. Okay? So they said, since Nigeria is poor now, they can no longer afford to subsidize the common product that people actually really use to run the economy. So to them, it is to fight those who are making illegal money from that subsidy. Okay? And they will use the money, reinvest the money. Similar thing to the forex, the foreign exchange. Okay? So when this news broke, an ignorant person like him, right, despite his education, I don't know how much of education, but I mean, I believe that he's a well-traveled guy from that family as well, a Afolayan family. Well, he threw everything every caution into the air. So they said, Tinubu will not get any plan. Tinubu will not attend any debate or any TV interview, anything. Convince them that he will be able to, you know what I mean? So when Tinubu announced that subsidy was gone, a liter of petrol was 186 167 naira, I think. 167 naira. At most, 187 naira, okay? When Tifnumbu said he was floating the naira, with an ignorant fellow like that, saying he was so happy with that announcement, that breaking news makes him so happy. Sure, you understand now? When Tifnumbu said he was floating the naira, it was like a kite. There was nothing to back it. An ignorant fellow like him, who said they were happy. A dollar then was 710 naira to a dollar. Okay. So immediately after all of that, I'm coming back to that of electricity. They have already told you they are removing subsidy on that too. I will explain what the subsidy on electricity is. It is not because this government is paying any money on electricity. In fact, your Minister of Electricity, the son of, what's that guy's name again? Peculiar Mercy, Penkele Mercy. Adelabu, his son is your Minister of Darkness right now. Abi, he's already told you that before you can see real power in Nigeria, you have to wait till 2026. The guy came out today and said, again, they can no longer subsidize electricity, as if to say they are paying electricity companies money. They are not, but I'm coming to that. You see our guy that said dollar should be, floating off naira over nothing because of his lack of intelligence, right? Or ignorance, so to say. Dollar then was 710 naira. After they floated it, dollar is now over 1,500 naira. Now, what that simply means, the effect of that is removal of subsidy, where the economy, the macroeconomy really depends on that. Once they remove it, the price of things will go up. Now, if you now float the naira, the price of, the value of naira is will depreciate. And for those who are bringing things into the country, it is what they buy that they will sell. So if you are happy that they removed their subsidy and they floated naira, and you are complaining that everything is hard right now, are you not mad?
Government house because you are putting stress on Nigeria. Turkey yokoni ibi tí wọ́n ti ń ta oúnjẹ ó ti di 4,000 naira. Nísìn tí gbogbo nǹkan ti ń rise, Turkey máa di 5,000. Turkey tó yẹ ká rà ní 1 pack for 4,000 naira. Ẹyọ kan oṣooṣù ti wá di 4,000. Ṣé rí pé nǹkan ti wà unbearable? Cement 9,000. Cement ti wèrè Dangote yẹn ó ti di 9,000. Ẹ dẹ̀ lọ sí neighboring country Africa. Wọ́n tà ní 1,500 in bed. Ẹ dẹ̀ ń jẹ́ kí gbogbo nǹkan níyàn lára. Yorùbá ló wà lórí throne o. Yorùbá tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ fi sí. Kókó mi ò gba owó o. Ẹ ní ṣoríire o. Ẹ ní ṣoríire o. Bẹ́ bá ṣe ń jẹ́ kó ẹ kàn sọ fún mi. Talẹ́ ni ibo ló fi sí tọ́rọ̀ ìtì ẹ̀sìn pé ẹ láti máa increase cost of living. Is it that ẹ fẹ́ pa everybody? Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ pa everybody ni? Ẹ sọ fún mi, even the billionaires tó jẹ́ normal billionaires tó ṣe ń dìde, wọn ò ní rí nǹkan ṣe mọ́ because poor people ló ń fìdí yín. Owó poor people lẹ fi ń di billionaire. Poor people yẹn ò wá ní rí nǹkan kan ṣe mọ́. Èèyàn ò ní rówó ra mọ́tò mọ́ o. Wọ́n máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí.
Very soon, Otoni now, it's true. Somebody that was happy a few months ago. So what was he thinking? What was he actually really thinking? That people will suffer, and the same set of people were buying themselves cars. Billions of naira was flying here and there. So you, in your own suffer head, you are telling yourself, we just need to, all of us need to stop. We need to stop talking about this dollar. Our dependence on dollar is too much. Is it dollar that we are spending in Nigeria? And I don't even understand all these things. We are spending naira. You are just a stupid person. You are very stupid. This is not 10th century. Okay? So you can continue to pretend or continue to be foolish. The criminals that are telling you things will be this or that, And then you opened it on the table. They are telling you what they want. We are doing this because of you. Nigerians must understand that we must bear the labor pain. But when you look under the table, all of them, where they starve, they hungry. Oh, they said Indomie now is 1,000 naira. They want to kill us, ni. You have no idea, right? You just choose to remain ignorant, right? The people that are telling you to endure, when you look under the table, Baba, you see different kind of dishes. Fresh food. Smelling great. There's those smelling that I said, when you walk into a big kitchen where they are making different kind of food, right? And you're like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh no. Those are the billions you are smelling. A lot of you are, instead of doing, oh no, my God. That's so salivating. Billions in Lengboye, and you are just like, Ogao. 100 billion. Ogao. 50 billion. Hey, Ogao. You are salivating, Abi. But they are asking you to endure. So you can continue to make yourself in a way that makes you feel like there is a reward. Someday everything is going to be fine. Whoever is telling you that doesn't love you. Everything is not going to be fine. In fact, these people want more of you, more of us, right? Drown in that, drenched in that poverty pool. You have no idea if you still don't have an idea yet. If you still don't get it, you may never get it. Trust me. Somebody has a better explanation about this removal or no removal. In case if you are out there, IMF is now saying, we want to thank Mr. President of Nigeria for removing subsidy. We want to thank the President of Nigeria for paying subsidy secretly. IMF now, I'm coming back to that.
To the government on the consequences of subsidy removal and palliative management. We need to have a renewed conversation about the political economic philosophy of Nigeria, the operating system. We need to have a new conversation about it so that we can mobilize the Nigerian people along a new direction out of our current challenges. And let me say this, there can be no substitute to energy security. No amount of palliatives can substitute for energy security. You see, when people are canvassing the removal of subsidy for many years with reckless abandon, with such thoughtlessness, they did not figure in the idea of energy security in all of the conversation. Energy security is a primary responsibility of the government because it forms an integral part of national security. And if you agree with me that the primary purpose of the government is security and welfare, you now understand that national security and welfare for citizens rest on the foundation built by energy security. And because energy security simply means the affordability and availability of energy products and services, that affordability component of energy security makes subsidy a permanent feature of energy security. Something that should never have been removed. In fact, its canvassing should never have happened at all in any public discussion. No presidential candidate should have run on a campaign to remove subsidy. None. It's something that is not done anywhere in the world. The America that is the headquarters of capitalism subsidizes petrol, subsidizes food, subsidizes education, subsidizes all subsidizables. In fact, for the purpose of energy security, people don't know this, FDR practically died to secure for America energy using energy diplomacy. In 1945, this man was dying. He was sick. his BP was 260 or 150. Fresh from the Yalta conference in Crimea with Joseph Stalin and Prime Minister Winston Churchill on the eve of the end of the World War. He knew he had worked hard to overcome Germany in the Second World War. But post-war economic recovery, even for America, who spent so much to bring about the defeat of Nazi Germany, was of concern to him. And he identified Saudi Arabia as a source of secure energy for America. And then he sailed towards Saudi Arabia to meet with the founder of Saudi Arabia, King Abdulaziz bin Saud. Saud also left his own to the government.
Don't worry. I will break it down for you. Talking about energy security. Do you know that a lot of the time, most of these Olori Brukus ruining Nigeria, they continue to threaten you that what you say about them can cause, can create a problem in Nigeria that can threaten national security. Omoyele Sowore is currently being illegally detained in Nigeria. His travel passport is being withheld by these rogues, even when court said it should be released to him. Omoyele Sowore was brutalized, nearly killed, illegally jailed, because he asked for revolution now. They said hashtag revolution now. It was a threat to national security. But what they didn't tell you, that has continued to be a threat to national security of Nigeria and everybody's life, is the fact that they continue to grow poverty, where people are unable to afford basic needs. And you see that history that economics was trying to relate there, right? It's true. America is the world-known headquarters of capitalism. Listen, capitalism is all about you must earn your pay. There is no free food, even in Freetown. Do you understand? There is no charity. Nobody will give you, you know what I mean? Like, you have to earn your pay. Okay? However, capitalism is very fair. The capitalist knows that they can only amass enough wealth in a peaceful, economically viable society. In a society where large number of people lack access to education, lack access to healthcare, and their purchasing power is ridiculous. They are also threats to the rich. So you must balance the equation enough that everyone can thrive, even in a capitalist society. Poor man can have access to funding, to access education. A poor person can access healthcare. Do you understand? When the society is built in a way that if you are rich enough, you can send your children to go and get a more expensive education elsewhere. You can decide to have access to the best and more expensive healthcare. It's available with your money. But an average person must have access to standard healthcare as at when needed. That's how society will work. That's how things will balance. That is how the agitation, anger, increase in crime, different crimes that will later throw the entire country into chaos will be prevented. And once in a while, people get fed up still with the fact that the capitalists are still not fair. Do you understand? That's how he used America. In America, they subsidize healthcare, subsidize education, subsidize energy. In the UK, they subsidize healthcare, subsidize energy, subsidize education, so that people can have access to them, develop themselves. Whether they are rich or poor, they can be, they can get access to healthcare, whether rich or poor. With that, they will not have any resentment against those who have access to those things easily. The criminals in Nigeria did not think of that. They don't give a damn. that Nigerians have no energy, they have no electricity. And even they are telling you, Nigerians are so poor that they cannot really afford to pay for 24 hours electricity. And they don't care. They don't know that is a threat to national security. Today, they have over 20 million children out of school. But these guys are buying billions of naira cars. They are budgeting trillions of naira for them, for their own luxury. And the 20 million out of school children, they will have no access to education, no access to healthcare, no access to any opportunity except the ones they create for themselves, mostly from crime. That is a threat to national security, not what you say about these criminals. They, Nigerian ruiners, they are threats to Nigerian security, national security. And so, you know, whatever hardship you call it today, like I've told you many times, they are just the preface, the preamble, the peripheral, the peripheral of the entire shege that you are still going to see. Every day, they will tell you something of renew this. The other one, they will remind you, shege yisheshe berenio, subsidy on energy. Nigeria needs a lot of energy to become a viable economy. People need access to them to be able to create wealth for themselves. And this access has been denied them by the only authority that has the power, okay, to indeed boost that sector, at least for the sake of growth alone and for millions of people's lives. Investing in power and seeing to the execution and implementation or completion of such project that Nigerians have access to 24 hours electricity should be primarily something that anyone knows automatically will cut down insecurity by more than half. It is not a rocket science. A lot of people who are today jobless, docile, who have now become the devil's workshop, they will be gainfully employed. Starting from that, they will reboot their own country, their own communities, and the rest of that. And everything will connect later. But they deliberately choose not to do that. And that is unforgivable. You know that? So, but still they said they were giving subsidy on electricity. Do you want to know the old truth? The real truth? Now, the peculiar mess, Penkele Mess's son, Adelabu, said Nigeria can no longer afford to pay subsidy on electricity. Look at me very well. Nigeria doesn't pay any shingbai on electricity. What Nigeria gave is called waiver. Okay? Waivers for anyone who is coming in to invest in power projects in Nigeria. Okay? You will not be charged custom duty to bring in your equipment. Every other thing you needed to do, including getting you site and where you're going to set up, all of that, they will provide them for you. And they will even give you about 5 years, tax-free, something. So you won't pay any tax. So this has been in existence for a very long time. Okay? So by so doing, you see those little investment, but you remember before then, Nigeria invested in power in some areas, right, where majority of those infrastructures are completely obsolete. Now, majority of them are obsolete. They are old. 50 years, 40 years old. They do not really meet today's real demand on power. So to say, no improvement. So, and those who are coming to invest in your power back then, their investment is not enough. It's like a drop in the ocean, drop of water in the ocean. So what Nigerian criminals are now doing is that they were using their own infrastructure that they built years ago, like Kainji Dam, Shiroro, and few others like that. Okay, that barely generates maybe 3,000 megawatts of electricity, and from them they barely possibly like distribute 1,500 of that megawatt. It's so bad, and the investment in power has been so poor. Obasanjo, who wanted to start, who started 11 independent power projects then, you know the story. Majority of them are, abandoned today. Do you get that now? So what the government now developed then is that, you see the ones that are the government property, they will be budgeting on them, stealing the money, no real investment. Then they will be counting on those other independent power providers like that, right? Which are also not many. So matching these two together, they believe that they are not making enough money. Sure you get now? Remember those old time projects too. Some of them are regional projects too. Kainji Dam is not owned by Nigeria alone. I think Shiroro is also not owned by Nigeria alone. I'm not sure. All the electricity generated from Kainji is shared between all these West African countries, because the water, River Niger, belongs to all of them. So if Nigeria wants to have electricity from River Niger, they must share the electricity with other, you know what I mean? So in fact, from what we heard, because Nigeria built it, they have to sell the electricity at a subsidized rate to some of these West African countries. You know, Benin, Togo, what do you call it, Chad, Niger. That's why Nigeria could cut off Niger when they declared war on Niger. Do you understand that now? So, but the rest, I think from what I heard, in fact, it's where Nigeria is actually really making money from electricity, selling the little they are selling to these West African countries. Inside Nigeria, the Dakuda G1, they barely make anything from it. So, according to them, they believe that they should be making so much money from electricity. Number one, the rate at which they sell electricity, because most of them, according to them, they've sold them, by the way, they are not owned by Nigeria per se. I think, which one did they sell? Disco, Abigenco. Genco are the generating electricity generating companies, the ones generating the power. Another set of companies, they are called the Disco. Those are the ones that are distributing the electricity. So those are private companies as well. You get that now? And those ones who are selling whatever they get from the national grid to customers, and they're making money from it. Now back to the subsidy they gave to these power companies. So to these criminals who are looking for money everywhere they can see money, even inside the dead person's pocket, they go pick your pocket. They feel like they are losing money by granting all those licenses to those power companies operating in Nigeria, by telling them that they can have 2 years tax-free. They were supposed to be making about 1.2 trillion naira if they were not doing that. So to them now, they are not doing that anymore. All the power companies in Nigeria, those of them who are enjoying some tax-free this or that before, Nigeria is losing money, Nigeria needs money. All those deals are now off the table. Since they are now going to be off the table, a lot of you are still using some rates. Now you have to pay tax. Now you have to pay this. Now they have to begin to suck you. Some of you are going to actually fold up. Believe me, you will not be able to survive it. If you are working for any distribution company, electricity distribution company, you better start looking for another job. And if you are a cook, that one will kind of help. Start cooking food. You probably would like survive that for a while. Because you see what they are doing right now is that all of una go have to squeeze something out. Tifnumbu need money. And if they squeeze you, now who you go squeeze? No be your customers. Now that you are hearing the news that there will be no subsidy on electricity, no subsidy again, no subsidy again, we are in debt, we are losing money, we are kineko. You see all of that, It simply means in the next 1 or 2 months, you see that electricity where you no get, that you are still paying for, Baba, you might actually probably start considering cutting off the NEPA wire completely. And if those of you who are lucky enough that they have given you the, what do you call that one, electric meter, digital meter or whatever, right? You are lucky. Some people, they've never given them for the past 8 years. They even celebrated that they opened meter manufacturing company, I think in Kano, or where did they open that one that year? That they were opening, that all of you that are waiting for your meters from NEPA, don't worry. They are producing them now. We just opened the meter manufacturing company in Kano. 8 years now. A lot of you are still waiting. But you are paying, Abi. This time around. The other day, you remember that woman that said, And 70,000. And 70,000 for one room. I only have my phone and my charger. PC. 70,000 for electricity. Baba, you are about to be hit. Hit me. They are about to hit you now. But they are already preparing you. No subsidy on electricity again. No free food in Freetown anymore. If you wake up tomorrow, or if you wake up in March and your electricity bill goes up by 100 or 200%, for example, you where they manage they pay 3,000 before. Your money don't enter 6,000, abi. Lucky you. It is about to become 18,000. Ask those who are still arguing. It's a lie. Then 12.5 kg of gas. I still bought it from my customer yesterday. It is 8,500. Come to Abraka. In Abraka yesterday, it's just 8,002. Your own is even expensive. It's not everything. Everything will be blaming government. Things are coming down today. If you come to Onitsha, it is just about 3,000 naira for 12 kg. Gugwe. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people have now agreed that 12.5 kg of gas is now over 18,000 naira. Mind you, this may even be like the price for 2 days ago. Because now power, everything they go up. A lot of you will discover a lot of things, later too. So the bottom line is that electricity is going to go up price, whether you get power or you don't get power. Do you understand? Even though they told you the Germans are coming. Remember that signing of Siemens, Germany? You remember? They never find plane. We go carry them come Nigeria. I've been a ship. We go bring the equipment. They never find. I told you. Tinubu went to Germany to go and beg Germany that please don't send them back home. 14,000 Nigerians were due for deportation as far back as January 2022. But this is January 2024. Buhari Goju, he avoided Germany for straight 3 years since they know they asked him. Buhari, see, 14,000 Nigerians to be deported from Germany. We thought it was exaggerated. It was true. And it is still true. Buhari avoided Germany for a very long time. No one see them. They were offering him different things. We'll give you this. We'll give money to. We'll support Skinny Cock. No, bring 14,000 Nigerians from Germany. Those ones were there here. If we see anywhere where we will send all of them go, we'll go send them go. Because we'll have too much. Buhari avoided. So in January 2023, they approached the then presidential candidate, Tifnumbu, that please, if you become president, will you help us? We'll support you, we'll give you this or that. I don't know what he told them. Then when they hear that Tifnumbu has managed to rig himself to become your president, they send people to him. Baba, see, Germany would like to host you. They were not talking about electricity anywhere. Electricity ko. Atukpani. Tifnumbu went to Germany to say, please don't deport them. But you know something, once we get outside there, let us, please, let us, when the camera is on, just let us sign this paper. Now, blank sheet, nobody they read them. Oh yeah, sign it and we tell them that we are signing the Siemens deal so that they can bring 24 hours electricity to Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this was probably like, I think it was around July or August. Since then, maybe Germany itself no get water. Because if na ship they won't bring, even if na push they push the ship. By now they go down land for Lagos. They are still coming to bring electricity to you. All those lies, you can wait to. But until they come, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how much you are paying for electricity now. I don't know how much it costs you to run your business now on generator and power and NEPA. It is about to get worse. It's about to get worse. I saw some people celebrating that the price of Agbado has crashed in Kebbi. Baba, they said from 70,000 naira. They sell them for about 40,000 naira for Kebbi. What are you waiting for? From Abeokuta to Kebbi, what do you think? Go and pack some bag of agbado. If you go there and you come back, you will make money. Oh. I'm serious. And this is what they do. You all know that when you look at the source of all of this, and then you look at what they are doing, that is so contrary to indeed actually ending the source of all this mystery, right? But you are telling yourself, they said that all of us should be awful. Awful. So let's move forward a bit, okay? Because this time around, they said that if you are a nurse in Nigeria, you know that story of Nigeria losing their best brains, professionals to the rest of the world because of Japa. It is a terrible thing. A lot of people have left Nigeria, and when they show the data don't lie. Statistics don't lie. They do matter. Nigeria, but see, I love you, right? Even if you don't like me because of Tifnumbu, it doesn't matter. I still love you. My advice they are always golden, but they are free. Some of you just treat them with levity. I do not wish you anything evil. I do not wish to see you go through what you are going through now. But my wish doesn't matter. As they say, elections have consequences. And to those of you who never really wanted this, but here we are. All of us are now trapped in it. If I feel kneel down, beg you, I go kneel down, beg you. Okay? Please. Anything you do, I beg no forsake. I know what's not the talk. If you forsake in Nigeria now, your money may not even save you. Even your money. Talk less of people like us we no get money. To ba lo sick parenting, èyàn lè gbàbẹ̀ lọ straight o. Kò ń ṣe pé no be say my o. A member of my own extended family died a week ago. And when they told me how she died, losing complete, hope in the situation of Nigeria just got more validated. Let me tell you what happened to her. From what I heard now, right, she's been diabetic. And being diabetic in Nigeria now is expensive. It's like a death sentence. The same diabetics that people have here in the UK. And it is the business of the government to make sure that you are supplied enough insulin that will keep you. It's a manageable health problem. And you can be like that for the rest of your life. And you can still be the greatest. Do everything every normal people do. In Nigeria, it is death sentence. You see, this is my family member. They say she's been suffering from it. And when she fell into crisis and then, into a shock, they took her to the hospital. But there was no bed. Then they took her to another one. There was no doctors on hand. And she was left in the car for hours until she went into a coma. And they took her back home. She was in that coma for like a day or two. And she never recovered from it. She died. And do you know how many people who actually die for seamless diseases like that? Not because they don't have money. They even manage to get the money and say, okay, yeah, take the money. Nigeria lost 43,000 medical practitioners to the rest of the world in 3 years because of Japa. So the criminals in Nigeria are not seeing that as a national crisis. Or maybe they do see it as a national crisis, but their own solution is to make sure that the rest of you who are studying medicine and all of that, nursing and all that, you will never leave Nigeria. Yes. I think they said you do housing or house practice. What do you call that thing again? When you as a nurse or doctor will have to serve for a year. And after that, you probably will be certified that you could practice anywhere in the world or wherever you want to. Or you could even say, I am going to further my education abroad. So the Medical Association of Nigeria will have to issue you an approval to say, yeah, you are a doctor, you are a graduate and all that. Housemanship. God bless you. Housemanship. So once you are a trained nurse, doctor, what have you, you go and do what is called the housemanship. You'll be an attaché to a medical establishment or a medical facility where you can work, your field. And I think it's for a year, is it? So now the problem now is that a lot of people are just waiting to graduate, possibly do the housemanship, and then they just get out of Nigeria. Some are not even waiting. But the dumb basses that are running Nigeria, they believe that the two ways to cash in from this or benefit from this is to make sure that those of you who are there in Nigeria, you will have to be delayed for another 6 months. I mean, people complain about what it takes to get to that final year medical school in Nigeria. Like you need to hear their stories. They are horrible, horrible stories that a lot of people feel like the trauma lives with a lot of them too. Now they have extended that. So you have to stay for another 6 months for something, this or that. And then if you need some clearance to possibly leave Nigeria, I think you can't really do that anymore. And if you have to do that, that also will take more time. And all of this is not, it's going to be like you serving Nigeria. You can't work. You cannot say, okay, fine. I'm not even traveling abroad. I'm a graduate now. I've done this or that. I want to go and look for a job and work as a medical practitioner. You can't. You still have to do that free time work or so and delay for another extra 6 months. And I'm like, why are they doing that? Well, it is because it is Nigeria. So some people are beginning to protest it. They are beginning to sort of raise alarm about it. But it seems that those behind it are not changing their minds. But we call this from the Ihala today, maybe because Obi was there, right? Take a look. So why were they saying they love him? They love him in Ihala. I think it's because of this.
Again, this occasion to appeal to the nursing and medical council of Nigeria to reverse the recent stringent conditions of our nursing personnel working overseas. We cannot restrict our young ones' opportunity of global employment. That is what is available. Today, Nigeria is the third most wanted nurses globally. And they have to be allowed to seek the opportunities that are global for them. What we should do as a nation is, since we have these young ones that are productive and everything, is to invest more in a short and a more nursing college of nursing sciences all over Nigeria, but we never look at government. Produce more, ensure that we give them the fastest support to get jobs globally and become a brand we should celebrate. Because they are the ones that were going to invest in Nigeria through their remittances and everything. We will generate the required foreign exchange.
You know, the sense in that is that there is a reason why a lot of them are leaving Nigeria. That is not addressed by Nigeria. And they don't have any plan of addressing that. They are poorly paid. They are poorly equipped. And in most cases, they are mostly undervalued. And with the worsening economic situation in Nigeria, they are falling into poverty. A lot of these young ones who are nurses, doctors here and there, they can see those who are supposed to be their senior colleagues, some of them their parents, who have been there and been, maltreated so much that they wish never to be like them in that condition. So rather than pay them, most of the time they don't even get paid. Imagine not paying doctors, health workers. Then, to make it worse, right? Imagine not paying them well. Okay, put it this way. They are not being paid well. Then imagine them not even being paid at all. And they are still blamed if they ever down tools. Oh, hey, people are dying, these doctors are on strike. Why would they go on strike? And they are so heartless people. They are so this or that. So a lot of them decided to leave the place for you. And it is not every one of them who wants to leave. So what are you doing to make them not leave? What are you doing about their welfare? Not what you will do. What are you doing? These rogues are saying that if they want to leave, they should leave. Nigeria produces enough doctors, produces enough nurses. If they want to leave, they should leave. In fact, the best way to benefit from it is to make laws that will now compel anybody that hire any Nigerian that is trained from Nigeria. If you went to school in Nigeria as a nurse or doctor, and you get employed by anybody in America, Canada, or anywhere, those countries and those employers, they must remit a certain percentage of your salary to Nigeria because Nigeria trained you. As if to say now free you go school. But now free you they go nursing school in Nigeria. You remember when they started that propaganda? It's unpatriotic. How can Nigeria train you and then you will now abandon Nigeria and go abroad? You remember when they were gaslighting you, doctors, nurses, when they were gaslighting you? Did you go to school for free? Did you pay for all those lab tests and those lab training and all of that? Did you pay for them? Did you get them for free? This Olori Brukus believes that you hold them, Abi, even when they treat you like a piece of shit, right? Then they said, okay, if Nigeria did not train them, and can't they be patriotic to Nigeria, patriotic to poverty? You are not angry that the criminals in Nigeria don't give a shit about them. You want to gaslight them to make them feel bad that they do not, or they didn't go to school, so that they will end up and their family will end up in poverty. You are not pained about that. So they tried to gaslight you that time. You remember? So now they want all those countries that employ you to pay some part of your salary to them in Nigeria. They are making the law. Oh, now so now they laugh. Say, maybe they can't collect time now. They are so full of themselves in that place. You see those rogues running Nigeria. They are so, they live in their own world, right? And then you begin to wonder, how do people actually understand them, that they are comfortable with them, that Nigeria is still accommodating and allowing them to run riot like that? They call them leaders. How? They always want to benefit from every mystery. And that is why they are trying to stop you, as if to say that will stop you. Baba? Instead of spending 1 year in Nigeria, in that their nursing school and all that, with all you already know. This abroad too will give you a very nice course in your field. All you have to do is to do 2 years. And you see what they want to, even when you are doing that there, you will still be earning money, you will still be paid, much appreciated, much valued, and you can even dream big for when it's going to be, you are going to get your practicing license from these countries. But these rogues don't think that way. They decided to go about with it and they issued a circular. That's it. That's what we're going to do to stop people from going abroad. That won't stop people from going. It will even encourage them to even leave more. But you see the rest of you that are clapping for them. Those of you that they are easily deceiving with all this free talk, with nothing really being done. Shama seek you. If you go for sick anyhow, you could even when you get money. Majority of those that are left, that are being maltreated, assaulted, abused, economically disenfranchised, disempowered, they are the ones who are now there. Cripple for life. See, they are leaving those ones they can easily frustrate to attend to healthcare. Allah seek you. Only gun labere lori o. Elemi le sọ fẹ́ pé well listen. The injection chemochloroquine to ma fún ẹ. They have to inject your head. Inu Nigeria ló ń bí wọn. They will be the product of the frustrated ones they are keeping there. And now your body, they go to test all those anger. Ma lo seek you. Whether you like Maiyegun or you don't like Maiyegun. Ma lo seek you. Koluwa ma wa pẹ̀lú wa. Obi was joining them when they are protesting that they want to see what they are doing to us. This is unfair and all of that stuff. Because he was around, so he joined them. This is other part of that show as well.
I don't know that I'll try and do this. I'll send bags of rice. I'll send 1 cow. And I'll send more drinks for them.
You know, it goes to all these places to give them money, despite the fact that it was supposed to be the man learning his lesson. You know, they were supposed to teach him a lesson. All of them are obedient and your energy. They said they would teach you lesson. But the people who won't teach you lesson are now the ones who are now cursing the people they nearly killed you for. You remember that? Obedient. The people, you see, the criminals, the people that nearly kill you for Tifnumbu and told you that you will be taught a lesson. Obi will be taught a lesson of his life. You obedient, you will cry for 8 years. People will tell you, say they go teach you lesson. They don't curse the people. We then won't kill you for. Months ago, Obi that they will teach lesson in the last, in the last 9 months. For those of you who have been keeping track, I don't know if I've been keeping track enough. He has already given out over 200 million naira in charity to different, like in some places he will give them money and say, okay, use this one to improve your infrastructure, 15 million naira. Another, in some places, was actually giving them even dollars. And somehow, the shameless Agbadomighty, Agbadoriansi, the ethnic, tribal, religious bigots, they said, instead of to think about their life, so to say, okay, they were like, Benny, the Obi that is sharing money from the campaign money. I said, campaign money, wow. And now, that's why he's sharing money. So, won't gain you lower to borrow. They cut your finger. Yeah? You they come out ring, put for another one. They cut you here. Yeah? They hold you here. You they bring this one. They hold you here. You they bring this one. But they're like, Maiyegun, are you saying you are not hearing that Habure stole 3-point-something billion? I said, yeah, I heard it. I heard that. But is that what Obi is spending? Obi has not accounted for this. I was like, okay, what about Kolu? Did Kolu account for? No, Maiyegun, please. Don't let us use whataboutism. I'm telling you this conversation I've had with people. If you think, say, people don't disagree with me, then you probably don't know those who are listening to Maiyegun. They no go, some people know they agree for me. But I have a way around to kind of make them see, like, listen, there are facts, there are fictions, okay? But the choice is yours. I am not here to change your belief, okay? Because I know Nigerians more, especially myself too, right? So the point here is this, okay? There is an accusation, an allegation that being sort of flown out there by some people who were supposed to be the Labour Party members, but they are accusing their chairman of diverting 3.2 billion naira. They are not accusing Obi, by the way, okay? But to make an Agbadorian feel better, that money, Obi must know about it, even though, except for saying these things and raising all this allegation, there's actually no other evidence to show that there is indeed. In fact, let's even just say, it doesn't matter if it doesn't have to be 3 billion. Let's even say some millions of naira to just make that one make it look real. You know, transactions between Labour Party and some people during the election. Sure, you get now. For example, people paid, you know, just make it look real. Show us the statement of account, show us some leaked document and balance and all that, or leaked transfers, so that we can begin to hold them. But 3.2 billion is a lot of money. But I understand why that is. But it doesn't mean that we won't say it too on this platform. So a lot of people, even obedient themselves, are now beginning to say, listen, whether this is true or not, we want this guy to come out and possibly say something. And that is the Abure guy. So this is me moving on from Peter Obi's philanthropy, which he's been doing even before your elections as well. You know that, right? But the guy is still doing it. And it's pretty much like some people are not comfortable with that too. They said, going everywhere to give them this and that, giving them money and then food is just taking advantage of the economic situation in Nigeria. So what do you think politicians do? Politicians take advantage of situation to tell you they will do it better if you let them do it. Sure, you get. That is their job as politicians. So if you don't want them to have a job, you do your job. The one that believes that you are in control and you could fix things. When you fix things, your opposition won't have anything else to say you have destroyed. But in the case of Nigeria, it's like, no, Nigerians should be very careful. Same story they told you before this, so calamity befalls you. Anyway, a lady came on and said, and they said she is the treasurer of Labour Party. Some said she's been suspended. But she said, no, I'm not suspended. She didn't present anything as well, other than Abure has a case to answer. And Abure himself said, all these are just APC, Egbekegbe's orchestrated smear campaign. Then they suspended her, which raised more suspicion, like Kilon Shele Gongo. Then we saw the people in Edo, yes, young people in Edo, who are also angry with Abure, accusing him of selling out, collecting money from candidates who wants to be governor, and then, endorsing one of them who paid more. All of these allegations and all that, if you are a real obedient, I bet this is not news to you. As some are so angry, others are beginning to say, listen, we are obedient, we are not Labour Party. I was like, oh, that makes sense, right? But listen to her.
When facts like this, issues like this are being played out, placed on the table, the right thing to be done is for them to carry out an investigation. And I'm speaking from this place of strength, asking that the right thing should be done. Now, they're always quick to accuse anybody of being sponsored, especially from the opposition party. I want to state it clearly here, that if there's anybody that has any alliance with the opposition, is the national chairman of Labour Party. Let him come out here and say that he has not been in talks with this government of Edo, in Edo State. I raised the issue of allegation, issue of money laundering, misappropriation, and a whole lot of embezzlement that happened. And I also stated the fact that the late national chairman of our party, may he so rest in peace, A.A. Salam, that his signature was forged 2 months after his death to withdraw money from the account. How on earth did he come out from his grave to come and sign signature? How on earth? So if the national chairman feels I'm lying, let him come out clear and say that I have lied against him. Now, to the issue you also asked about the money that we have raised, the national chairman of our party has not given me the authority. I don't even receive a lot as national treasurer of the party. So what am I treasuring? I don't even receive emails whatsoever pertaining the account. We've got over 3.5 billion naira, and I'm saying it with everything that I'm saying it with. Let me start for instance, national chairman of our party doctored an audit report of over 2-point-something billion naira, and he brought to me for me to endorse my signature, and I said no. How on earth did we get this kind of amount? Because I never knew that we had such an amount of money. I'm only aware of the 55 million that passed through my account, which I've also tendered. I've also explained to the world. I've also given letters saying this is how those money were spent. Then, the off-cycle election in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo State, we got 958 million naira. Now, the rerun that happened a few weeks ago, Party got over 30 million naira. This present Edo election, we've gotten over 200 million. Now add it up. These last figures I've given out, plus the over 2-point-something billion naira. What are we talking about? The money runs into billions. But because the national chairman of our party is full of deceit, he's not the person he claims to be. Maybe because of the size of his body, that's like people tend to believe him, and because he wants to leverage on our leader, Mr. Peter Obi, and also want to buy the sympathy of people. I want the people to also know that he's not who he says he is. And I'm saying that the public sec of our party, Mr. Obiora Ilo, is not in the position to clear Abure of any allegation leveled against him. I charge the Barrister Abure to come out clear and tell Nigerians that I have lied. And I want to state, because I've written a lot of letters, I said that the internal mechanism failed. Yes, it actually failed, because I've been pursuing this for the past 7 months. Check my letters. If I was being sponsored, then why did it now take this long? Because I was trying to exhaust everything exhaustible before I can now come out clean. Then, just last week on Friday, what the national chairman normally does is, when issues are being mentioned, are being raised, instead of him to tackle the issue, he handpicks the people that but licks him. He handpicks them to come and do the job for them. And at the end of the day, those ones will clear him off every allegation and suspend and recommend for suspension. And I'm not one to sit down and watch things go wrong. I want the national chairman to come out clear and say that I have lied, and say that monies have not been embezzled, and say that monies have not been transferred to individuals' account, to families' account, to wives' account, to brothers' account. Abure runs the party as if it's Abure and Nigeria Limited. Right. Did you know why I'm really pained? Just this week, or just 2 weeks ago, a young staff of the office her account was being used to launder money, to transfer money. And she doesn't even know, unfortunately, that she might be going to jail. And a woman for that matter. And I'm a woman, I'm speaking for her now. Because she doesn't even know the gravity of what she has done. Why would national chairman send 10 million naira to her account, only for her to send the money to another account that will get to national chairman? National chairman should come out clean and say that I have lied against him. That is what I'm insisting, that nobody should speak for him. And anybody speaking for national chairman is not being sincere. It's not being fair. Because if we are preaching transparency, we should preach it with our full chest. All right. We can't keep on criticizing everything. Why corruption is eating deep. Okay.
Well, do you know that I almost believe her? I'm not saying she's lying, no. Don't get me wrong, go. And I'm not saying she's saying the truth, though. But the passion at which she put all those conjoined numbers together, are really, really convincing. Is it because she's a woman? They kind of are so convincing to say, transferring money to account of brothers, sisters, this or that. And, you know, like, Even a lady that could go to jail. Or the money they made from the sales of election forms. You know, all of you who bought forms. Even those who bought forms from Bayelsa, Edo, and all these places. If you put all this money together, it runs to billions. That's what she said. 3-point-something billion. And she's the treasurer who probably have no access to the party's account. Because if she had access to that party's account, like she is currently saying, and they forged her signature, because her signature should be part, I believe, should be part of those who take money out of the party's account. Or is that, no? I don't know. Anyway, but she has to be aware. And by her position, she would have access to all the documentations that has to do with the party's account by her position. So, two things. It is, if we go by our own position as the treasurer, that means somebody like that don't just talk. They talk with evidence. Because she is talking as the right person who can tell us the state of a Labour Party's account. Do you understand? So you don't manufacture number. You don't say 2-point-something billion. No. Somebody who is actually in charge of that thing. They have every document. The one that convinced them that a lot has gone wrong in this place. Do you understand that, right? So she's not presenting any. She's asking government to help them investigate. But she's very sure that they transferred money to individuals' account, brother's account, this one's account, and that one's account. She's very sure. Especially 10 million that was sent to somebody, even though she has no evidence with her. But she is sure, which means it is either she is still keeping the evidence to herself and expecting Abure to deny. Then she will now release all of this document. It's either that or they have shut her out of the whole thing completely. She has no clue what is going on with the party's account. And that is so painful to her. Do you understand that? Like, you get what I mean? She's aware how money went in. But at some point, she's been cut off. She has no idea anymore. Then she started manufacturing, figures and all of that, hoping that something is going to stick and we can get to the bottom. Madam, if you have evidence, I am one of your, your supporter now because you nearly convinced me. But if I begin to use my sense, I can say, no, shut up. But that doesn't mean that nothing is missing or nothing is wrong. Don't get that wrong. I'm not saying nothing is wrong. Something is wrong somewhere. But the madam also, she doesn't know. Like me and you, we don't know. So you and I can sit down and say, it's true, Joe. Do you know how much money they sold form? Do you know how many people collected form for House of Assembly? Do you know how many you know that, eh? And you and I can begin to put the numbers together. And guess what? We can come up with about 3 billion naira too. And then what is next? What did they do with the money? Where's that 3 billion? You and I have no access to their account. Since we don't, let's move on. They must have spent it, Joe. They have spent all the money. Look, Baba, see, now Nigeria, no, they do yourself, eh? That money is gone. That's exactly what the treasurer of Labour Party is doing. You and I be apologist. But she's not supposed to be like me and you. She is somebody in a position to present evidence that can help us like. But she was right. She said she will be suspended. So they suspended her after that. But in Edo youths know, say, Abure no clean, say. Abure won't spoil thing for us. Abure is in bed with Obaseki. And that is unacceptable. And they protested. I'll show you.
Man is oppressing and is oppressing the Labour Party and joining the name of Labour Party to the mud. One, how can the executive of the party not participate in the primaries. Okay, who is he bringing to voting? That means he on his own, he has a candidate of his choice already. Yes. We don't want you to participate in the primaries. Let the primaries be free and fair. Let everybody go and vote for the candidates they want. We don't want Abure to involve in the primaries. We just want what we the youth of Labour Party want is a free and fair primaries. Anybody that emerges as winner.
Wahala everywhere. Wahala everywhere. You see these young people, that somehow they have managed to drag into Labour. I know some of you obedient who will never say you be Labour Party this, so sure you know. Every time you know say Labour and obedient are associated, is sort of it's sad, right? But I know they pretend corruption while everywhere. Should hear. So as it be so, a lot of people who are already dragged into that same system, they are now realizing that everything is not as they seem. And some say, no, Baba, they has been sponsored. Remember, all of them are saying Obi is not involved. They don't want your problem obedient. They believe that anybody will want to talk about labor, you can do whatever you want with labor. Just to mention Obi. Now, when you mention Obi, it go be like say, don't mention Obi in that your nonsense. Never in your life open your mouth and mention Obi. Obedient will tell you that. In your life, don't ever mention Obi in your mouth. I say, wala deba your long. That is why even these people they continue to say, our leader Obi is not involved. So that maybe little by little, in a way you can begin to feel like maybe they are fighting for something right. Maybe something is really wrong. Anyway, going forward, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, Omoyele Sowore is still in Nigeria, and you might think Sowore is free, is working. No, he's not free. Under Buhari, they said revolution now was a threat to the hashtag revolution now was a threat to Nigerian national security. And Sowore that was championing that, and others, they were kidnapped, tortured, dehumanized, openly and secretly too, and privately too. Then finally, when they couldn't hide much more anymore, with no evidence to indeed convict him of any crime, their court freed him. But there are so many other cases that they've brought up against him just to keep him there and keep him somehow powerless. But they've not been able to do that, except that they have managed to keep on his passport. He can't travel, he can't go and see his family. He can't, in fact, at a point, they actually banned him into Abuja. He couldn't go to another state outside Abuja. But he kept fighting and he kept fighting. Today was one of them. But today, they added a little bit of a protest to it. Like, Nigeria government is running away from their courts to come and answer why they won't honor their own court judgment that said his own passport should be returned to him. He's done nothing. He's committed no crime. Nigeria won't show up in court. So therefore, court would have to adjourn. So today, they staged a protest to remind them, the revolution you are running away from, is so close than you can imagine. And few other cash activists around him today. Deji was even there. The human rights cash activists. But however, Mo will say hello to these guys on the street today. I think I kept that. Where did I put that earlier? I think here. We'll use this one.
The revolution they are running from is getting closer. There's none of them that ran that election, whether Atiku, Tinubu, or Obi, that should not be in jail or in prison if we're to run a smooth country.
And the enshrinement of true democracy in the society, and that is the stand of the ANC. ANC, take it back!
Sorry about that. There is a sound part there that I really don't want to keep on it. For some reason, it has to be in it. But for now, let's start with the guys who were outside the courtroom. Then I'll come back to that, what everyone has to say there.
I don't discuss with this man before. We don't get understanding. And you can't come and say what you for. Why are you to shout at me? This one, this one. Who are you? You feel fight. You feel fight. Who are you say? You feel fight. You feel fight.
No, ask any man what I feel fight.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight. Free Shawara. What do we say? Free Shawara. What do we say? Free Shawara. Free Shawara. What do we say? Free Shawara. Now today is Valentine's Day to fall in love with freedom. We are choosing to what? Fall in love with freedom. We are falling in love with what? Freedom. We are falling in love with what? Freedom. We are falling in love with what? Freedom. Are you falling in love with your chains? No. Are you falling in love with chains? No. Are you falling in love with chains? No. Are you in love with chains? No. Say it louder. Freedom. Raise them, raise them, raise them, raise them. Raise them, raise them. Revolution, we want to do something before we go. Revolution, 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 we want to do something before we go. Revolution, solidarity.
So those are the revolutionists who were outside their court today to remind them that they should free Shawara. Tifnubu inherited all Boko Haram's supposed enemies, and therefore he would then inherit all of the self-inflicted Boko Haram's problems. So nobody should continue to give any excuse for Kolu. But like I said, there were kind of more outside the courtroom where Omoyele Shawara himself and then a few others. But mind you, it was actually the AAC party that coordinated that, public sort of a protest there to the court that let him go. Okay, so for those of us who have been asking that people should try and bridge all their differences and come together and build a stronger force and get rid of these criminals at the right time. So I sort of want you to know that the system doesn't want that to happen. Okay, I know. I don't know how you can force them to actually give out, free him for real. But we'll add our voice to that too. Well, listen to this just before we go on to that, right? Listen, sure.
Yes. It's very difficult to love in this country because the country doesn't love its citizens. But we have two tracks to how we look at Nigeria. As a friend of mine told me yesterday, is to say, are we concerned about Nigeria or Nigerians? It seems that we have lost Nigeria, but we have not lost Nigerians. So that's why we keep pushing. But regarding our case, as we have always told you, the federal government has no case, and they are not interested in prosecuting any case. When we got to court today, they brought two lawyers who look very confused, as usual. Yes. The last lawyer who was rude to us, they claim they have transferred her out of the Ministry of Justice, or the Ministry of Injustice, which is back here. And they said because they just received the case file, they are not ready for trial again today. This is after 5 years. Reminding the judge that he threatened last time to dismiss this case. Why is he still not doing the needful? But the judge, as usual, also gave his own excuses that he wants to exhaust the process. We know that if they have 100 years, they have no case.
Yes.
And we said it from the beginning, and I keep reminding everybody. In 2019, even before I was arrested, that nobody can prosecute us. Nobody can prosecute the revolution. But the good news is that the revolution they are running from is getting closer. As I've always said, when the revolution wants to happen, a lot of events will happen. But the last trigger is always hunger. And the people of Nigeria are very hungry this time. A hungry man is a revolutionary. So Nigerians have been taken for granted, they have been battered, people have been destroyed, businesses are leaving the country once again. People cannot afford to feed anymore, even if they want. Insecurity everywhere, kidnapping in every corner, and the currency of the country. We also warned in this court when people were saying that Buhari has left that Emilokon will be worse than Buhari. That is Tinubu, and it has also come to pass. Tinubu doesn't even care about anybody except himself and his criminal colleagues and board members who are running Nigeria, Nigeria PLC. They have done everything to destroy the economy. They have done everything to break an average Nigerian. And those who are saying that it is our turn. What is their turn now is suffering, hunger, starvation, sorrow, and a bloody lifestyle that is intolerable. The revolution that they have been running away from is now. Revolution now!
Another challenge you, another challenge you, double challenge you, another challenge you, another challenge you, another challenge you, double challenge you.
Come and see you. Papa, come and see you. Papa, come and see you. Waiting Nigerians they face you. People come and rock you. So Tinubu.
So Tifo.
So embezzlement. So inflation.
So corruption.
Waiting we dey suffer. So corruption. Waiting we dey suffer. So Betty Edu.
Enough is enough.
Papa come and see you. Waiting we dey suffer.
So Tinubu. Greatest of the greatest Nigerian people. Yes. We have said it, we have warned Nigerians, over and over again. But Nigerians, it seems that Nigerians have taken a covenant with suffering, a covenant with oppression. Because I cannot imagine where during the last election, people had several credible options and alternatives in the country. But they said they want to swim and die with corruption. Look at the Labour Party that people were jumping all over the place for. And were saying that, they are the savior, they are coming to save Nigeria. Now look at the kind of worms that we have witnessed in the Labour Party. The Labour Party cannot even account for campaign funds that it received during the last election. And this is 9 months later, 9 months after election. The Aburi looter in the Labour Party headquarters, who has been alleged severally of corruption, has just been recently alleged by the treasurer that he stole 3.5 billion naira from the campaign fund. We are talking about monies that was generated for just sale of form. We're not talking about the millions of dollars they generated during the election. We're not talking about money in their naira account that was generated. Yes, Obi has refused to come clean. you cannot fight corruption with corruption. That's number one. Secondly, it is also very important that we warn Nigerians about the Emilocons of this world. We say they are not coming to do anything. These guys just came to have fun and to loot. Yes, when somebody tell you that it is his turn to do what? Nigeria did not ask. Turn to steal, turn to loot, and a man that says he will continue from where Buhari stopped. What were you expecting? He told you, Nigerians were warned. The man said is going to continue from where Buhari stopped. Has he not continued from where Buhari stopped? And Nigeria is heading the Zimbabwe way. Is it not strange that the West African CFA is now stronger than the Naira? And let me tell you, things are going to get worse. Let me shock you. Let me shock you. There's none of them that ran that election, whether Atiku, Tinubu, or Obi, that should not be in jail or in prison. If we're to run a smooth country, we must get to a point where we have to tell ourselves that enough is enough.
AAC, take it back. Take it back. Action.
Our problem is how to liberate our country, Nigeria. And we'll start calling on you everywhere you might be, whatever your religion, whatever your ethnicity, your status, orientation in society. Please come and join us. Come and join us. Come and join us.
Union is for me and you. Oh, come and join.
Yes.
Show. Because my time is so far spent, I'm just going to sort of enjoy the rest of the evening with you instead of taking the course. I still have a few things to share, all right? Because while we were coming back from that place, okay, and I thought, I wanted to have a little break, okay, and I sort of stopped by at this scene. Baba, I don't know if they were sharing bread or if they are selling bread. No idea. But this happened in Lagos just yesterday.
What's that?
Hey, bread 100 naira can appear mad on career because of 100 naira bread. Hey, Nigeria. Hey, now wow, because of 100 naira bread. Hey, see Nigerians, God day. I bread that they share like this on inside Lagos Island. Abibi Oke Street. 100 naira bread. Trio Street for Lagos Island. See as the flog person because of 100 naira bread. Hey! Nigeria don't spoil. See crowd. 100 naira bread. Hey! See. This one na Yoruba line, then they flog Yoruba people like this. Yoruba line. See Hausa line for back. Just for them to be online. Igbo no dey side though. Igbo no dey. We cannot do like this. Hey, wow. Hey, wow. This one in front of my shop. Don't be saying a lie. Hey, God damn. This bread is different whether they flock person like this. Now this morning, early morning, Valentine's Day, and they flock person to collect bread. In front of my shop for Lagos Island. Hey, Nigeria, sorry for you. Lagos, sorry for you. Hey, wow. Hey, wow. Very shameful. Very shameful. See. For them to be on queue because of bread, 100 naira. See. Hey! See flog. Because of 100 naira bread. Wow.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning. Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not.
Chai!
100 naira bread. Lagos Island. Àwọn lokan. Hausa line. Did you see how long the Hausa line in Lagos? Then the Yoruba line. Baba, they beat human being just to stay on the line to collect 100 naira bread. I wish I could see the size of that bread. Then the guy who was recording, they started arguments. Igbo no day. Igbo did there. Igbo no day. As I tell you, say Igbo did there. Baba, that they could actually have physical line where they said Hausa, Yoruba. Even in this Wahala, people see they do tribal, bigoted, what have you, sharing bread. So an Igbo man whose shop was opposite the place said, well, I mean, I can't find Igbo line. Oh yeah, Igbos. He said Igbos will never do this. And he's right. A lot of people agree that it's true. Because it is either, if you see Igbos in that area, that means they came to their market to sell. If you see any other person, young person around there who is not a shop owner and is Igbo, is probably just an apprentice in another shop. So to have the large number of Igbos to queue that long collecting 100 naira bread is impossible. I'm not saying maybe in Igbo land where you have a large concentration of Igbos. So here you get. But in the land of Emilokan, Baba Sheraye, did you see what people have done to? But according to Remi Werekwe, all of these are for the future of your children. Teresa Mendoza, Ikoyi. Normally, I actually like to call her Teresa Mendoza of Abuja, Remi Werekwe. Oya fún wọn ní motivational speech. Oya ju kan fún wọn.
These are hard, but when I saw all those children lined up the street, I see that removal of fuel subsidy is for their future. We can come and do government as usual, business as usual, but I would tell you that certain things happen that would change the trajectory of your thinking. I want to work for you, and I believe that Mr. President has the same drive and zeal to want to turn this nation around.
When Remi Werekwe saw those children lining the streets, at least to come and see her, those out of school children in Kano, she felt like, fuel subsidies for their future. When those children, when they heard Remi Werekwe say, whatever you are suffering now that you're out of school, you are lining the street to welcome me, is for your future. One of the children probably feels like this. They, because whatever you are going through now, they are convinced that more of you are still going to line the streets. And if you are lucky enough to be lining the streets alive, so maybe all the Remi is promising you will come to pass. Some people are going to line the streets dead. Ebi ló máa pa wọ́n kú. Ebi máa pa àwọn èèyàn physically táwọn èèyàn máa kú sílẹ̀ báyìí. It is already happening. Do you understand? So lining the streets, ejekama sokama clear. To line the streets, begging abi, to line the streets, ingbati hunger has finished you, dead, lining the streets. They are so sure and so bold, also very, very confident in that their failure trajectory, because some people are still clapping for them. So when I was about to come online tonight, so what happened is that I saw an headline where the Sultan of Sokoto, the Uthman Danfodio's grandson, the great-great-great-grandson, Sultan Ushokoto said, Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. They may not be able to control how the people are going to react anymore. He's talking about those region. He's talking about the region that once called protesting against government hardship on Nigerians was haram. For 8 years, it was haram. And it's now telling Tifnumbu that, it be like say, we not go fee control them anymore. All these things where they tell them since that say, but say this hunger is speaking another language to them. And it's like this hunger is speaking the language they understand. So this is to remind you, say, if nothing is done, you might be sitting on a keg of gunpowder or anytime literally explode. Sultan Shah threatened Tifnumbu in a nutshell. So that anything where Tifnumbu see collect on like that, left, right, and center, wala take boju, wala everywhere. Anyway, from somebody who was in Abraka. Is it Abraka in Delta State? Should be Abraka, Delta, Abraka, Abiugeli. Okay. From what we have heard, right? They said the state that kickstarted the NSAS 1 was almost kickstarting or may still be able to kickstart the NSAS 2. The police brutality attack on people has led to the death of one, I heard, and a bloody, experience for many. Now, they took to the street in Delta State to protest police brutality again. And just before this morning, just before that happened, somebody had this encounter with the police in that same state. Okay? Just listen to their conversation. And from there, I want you to remember that this is an encounter between a citizen and the Nigerian police at night. And you can deduce whatever you think from it. Then I will take you to Delta again during the day when they said, we are done. We don't want police anymore. Really? Watch.
No, I have to make you guys searching my car now. It's allowed. That IG gave instruction about that.
No. Okay. IG say what?
IG gave instruction about
call
that.
The IG.
That is not a crime to make a video where you're searching your car.
Call IG now.
I should call IG. Talk to IG. I can't call IG now. But that's instruction.
Call him. Let me talk with him. Whether
that's instruction.
Okay, make me a do video for you.
Hey, we can do now. No problem, sir.
No, you can't video me.
No, I have
your
to.
Eye is here.
No, I have to video you.
No, lie.
No.
I will go park your motor for airport.
You can go and pack it now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
If you know off that camera, your eye is your.
No, I won't off it. You can start my camera and video you.
No, oh yeah. If you want it like that.
Yeah? Let's go to anywhere. All right. You are opening my car without me being there.
Yeah, I know they hear you.
I will to video is not a kind to video you.
Come. If you want to, no.
Excuse me, please.
No, you're not enter this way.
You are stopping from
you don't want me to start your car.
I don't want to start my car.
Yes, you don't
want. I'm making a video. That's starting my car.
You don't want it. If you don't off the video, I can't do that.
I'm not stopping my video.
Your presence is here.
No.
Okay, well done.
Take me anywhere.
I say, see my man.
Take me anywhere.
Guys, come first. With this man. I don't know. He say he must put video on video. The video me say.
Yes, it's not wrong. Kevin, you're searching my car. It's not wrong to make a video while searching my car. It's not a wrong thing to do.
Harrison.
I'm hearing, sir.
What is your issue now? This one, Harrison. I went
to Abraka. He stopped me. He stopped to search my car. And I told him it's not a crime to make a video while searching my car. So it's not a crime. Why not angry? Now let me enter my car. He said I cannot enter my car. Why not stop me enter my car? Is it a wrong thing to do? It's not wrong.
When video is finished, you give me the picture. Let me see IV.
Good. It's not wrong to make a video.
Video him.
Yes.
Did he slap you?
I said he wanted to search my car.
Did he slap you?
Can I on the video? He said
you?
He did not slap me.
He
did not insult me, and I did not insult him too.
But he's a
You search
policeman.
him now. If you search him, you do the comment. You let him go.
That's all. There's no crime.
But let me tell you something. The way you are against police is no good.
It's a wrong statement you are making.
No,
I'm not against police. I'm against police brutality. I'm against police extortion.
Which extortion?
When you collect money from somebody, I'm against that. That's what I'm against.
You are against police too much.
You see your statement. Your statement is very, very wrong. Your statement is very, very wrong, sir. You see why I have to make a video? Because I'm scared to be even here with you people here.
Yes. You are my brother.
I'm very, very scared.
You are from Igbodo.
Good.
Brother.
Can you start my car? Let me go, please, sir.
Nah, this thing now. After Obio, what they call him?
Can you search, sir? Let me go.
Nah, what they call him? Former deputy governor, that place.
Can you search? Let me go. Okay, this statement you made is very, very wrong. That I'm against police. I'm not against police. I need to correct that impression.
Okay.
I'm not against police. Okay. Even though police took me for 4 years in prison, I spent 4 years for nothing, illegal detention. I am not against police. I advocate. No, I advocate for police. I do. Go ahead and search. No, I can't off my.
So that's Harrison. Guamshu. I can't remember his second name. So he's a guy who happened to be a police, the victim of a police brutality in Nigeria. He was, wrongly arrested because he couldn't pay the bribe. He ended up on awaiting trial in Nigeria prison for over 4 years until he regained his freedom. Now, this guy is now kind of dedicating his time exposing the criminals, the extortionists, the extortion racket within the police, okay? When citizens are extorted, because Nigerian police are the #1 kidnappers in Nigeria, in case if you are not aware. They will kidnap you under the arm of gun. They will take you to a secluded area, threaten you that they can kill you and nobody is going to see you. That even if they see your body, they can say you are an armed robber. So they will threaten you until they probably empty your bank account. More guys were clearing 30 million, 40 million from Nigerians, policemen. So this guy is sort of going after that. Once you get extorted by the police and you get in touch with him, about within days, so he eventually built he built himself enough that he has relationship with some of the top police officers. So he could reach out to them when he has evidence of extortion. All right. And some policemen have actually lost their jobs, including even being jailed too. Not like being locked up, okay, in Nigeria. So some knows him, not many, but in that regard, he was quoting their police IG that it is not a crime to record the policemen if they are searching you or searching your car or searching your bag, because around that is not illegal. But you know, in Nigeria, did you see how they quickly approached it? Those are Nigerian policemen, and that's their language, okay? Broken English, and I don't even want to go into that. The unprofessionalism of these criminals, who are mostly, right, career criminals all their lives too, wearing that black uniform. They've gotten away with a lot, okay? But these days, a lot of them are still very kind of a foolish, existing in that contraption like is an isolated place. In this 21st century, where technology is everywhere, among these ancient rogues in Nigeria and this ancient force and their officers, they still get caught every now and then, okay? Extorting people, transferring money to their bank, to the point that some of them are walking about with BTC accounts in order to extort people with bitcoins and all that in Nigeria. So this guy was there and he's been doing well. So I wish him so well. Harrison, great job. So a lot of people have been their victims and he's come around to rescue them, okay? So today in the same Delta State, young people, they took to the streets. police brutality, just like the poverty in Nigeria, remember that there is a demography that suffers it most. As everyone talks about poverty in Nigeria, how people are poor and all that, a lot of people don't know that it is the young people that are suffering more. I'm talking about the immensely from the effect of the ruined economy and the spreading poverty. Young people. When you take a look at the statistics of unemployment in Nigeria, and you look at the demographics of those affected, you will also realize that the young people takes the largest share of unemployment in Nigeria. They are educated, they are graduates with no jobs. Young people. Therefore, the pathway to poverty is already laid before them, and it is not escapable. Only few manages to bridge it and break the circle and jump out of that poverty pathway that these criminals have already laid. Young people. When you look at the police brutality record in Nigeria, seriously, you will also see that the demography that has suffered a lot in this aspect, in this malady, are also the young people. That is why it's so unfortunate that the young people who manages to sum up courage and stood up against the establishment and the system for the first time last year in your elections, they were served the dose of heartbreak they served their parents. I'm glad that a lot of you are not giving up, because young people who responded and felt like they could have something better and they believed it, they did try and give it to them, because they have been the demography that has suffered greatly from the consequences of bad leadership in Nigeria. Young people. And that's why when people ask, what are the young people doing? How could Nigeria population be 70% of young people? Imagine having a population of 210 million people, and 70% of those people are people between the ages of 0 and 30. People who are 30 years and below. Wow. And yet they have no power to change their destiny. From the hands of these relics, these septuagenarian, octogenarian criminals. That's why we need a lot of revolutionary minds, education, information, enlightenment that tells them that makes them understand the absolute danger, the absolute danger they are in if they continue to be complainants or continue to be victims. But if they can realize how powerful they are with that number, which is something the establishment is so scared of right now, and they're spending a lot to propagate so much fear. Don't try it, they will kill you. You know you are still young. You have your future ahead of you. Don't let anybody tell you about any revolution, this, These are people who have their families abroad. They are not going there. Baba, listen. Anybody who get his family abroad is not affected by what you are facing. Anybody that can afford to send their children abroad, for education or anything, they are not affected, though. If you think you need those people who can afford to go abroad, or those who live abroad, before you can fight for your future, Baba, pathway to poverty. It is a no going back, no going back, Gideon. Anybody that can afford to send his family out of Nigeria, their future is manageably secured. You that cannot afford to send your children from Ekiti to Akure, you that cannot afford to send your children to go and study in Togo, you are there and they are telling you that your future is better. Be careful, because your future is important. Future where they don't steal. Future of your children where they don't mortgage. They are telling you. Anybody that is telling you to go and fight for those future with their own family abroad, with their own children abroad, don't listen to them. Just go and pray that God should just do everything for us. Baba, your children are going to grow old and they will face worse than whatever you think you are facing now. And you know something? Those people who have their children abroad, all of us living abroad, you know something? Majority of us will still be living abroad. Majority of us will still be living fine. And guess what? The future they are telling you not to. Don't listen to them. That future they told you that they are securing for you. The one they are telling you that they are keeping for your children in 10, 15 years' time, you are going to be telling us, help me, help me, help us, help us. Our leaders are heartless. Our leaders are this. Baba, I left Nigeria 12 years ago with nothing materially. Just me and my sanity. 12 years after, if they are talking about growth, if they are talking about a personal development, if they are talking about a personal, re-education, if you are looking at somebody who you can say, at least, if I have been so starved of any success story I can point at, I know one Maiyegun. I saw this guy grow. I watched him. I saw everything from the beginning. 12 years of my life, the ones that I managed to control by myself, without any input from the criminals in Nigeria, who told my parents that they were planning for my future. They lied to my parents. Until when I grew up, I realized that they had no plan for me. My parents couldn't fight anymore for me because they believed them. They left the fight for me. Now I am growing up. I have my own children. These rogues are telling me that they are fighting and securing the future of my children when I know they are not. Do you think I'm going to be comfortable leaving my own children to fight their own fight for their own children? 12 years of my life that I took control of my life without any input from these criminals and their policies. You can see progress, so even if you don't like me. Can you deny much progress you have witnessed in my life? Me, Maiyegun, in the last 2 years. I'm not rich. I know, nobody say I'd be rich, but can you point at, say, now where I used to be, I still there. And do you know how many destinies they have destroyed in the last 12 years? Businesses, jobs, families. They promised them better life, right? So if I tell you something, you better listen. And if you don't, if you still think somebody like me who escaped from them is the one that you need to come back there and convince you that you have no future and your children have none in that place, well, you might wait extra. I will teach my children to help me educate your children. When they start complaining like you, Abi, are you not complaining about Nigeria now? This country is tiring. This country is evil. Ask your parents if they didn't complain too. They did. Yes, they did. Here you are. You are now a father. You are now a mother. Abi, you are also complaining now. Rent, job, this, that. Abi, if you don't want your children to do the same, do you understand me now? You will need to stop this. But if you don't, that's fine. I think I've had enough. I would probably still spend another 10, 15 minutes with you. I think we should leave it that, or should I? Now, you see this video I have here. I want to share that with you. And that could make me just do this 3 straight hours without taking calls. Are you bored? Because sometimes, you know, when somebody just keep talking and talking and talking, you just become so bored. Like, I'm bored. I'm bored. Are you bored? So that I can go. No? No, you will never be bored with Maiyegun. Trust me, you will never be bored around me. I can speak like this for the next 6 hours. And you still will never be bored, except because you have work tomorrow. So I'm not going to keep you that long, okay? But see, pray for me that I don't get a backlash that is going to have me punished for sharing this with you. But it's so loaded with the truth. And it's spoken by a man of God, a pastor. A lot of us were raised to believe that what they did to us in slavery, the slavery they did to us, contributed to what we are today as Africans. As much as this rhetoric has been somehow like debunked to make us realize that you cannot blame colonialism or slavery and the rest of that on those, white people, as we call them, without acknowledging the local chiefs, black on black slavery, those who actually captured us, profited from it. Even when Oyinbo stopped slavery, they still wanted it to continue. They looked for markets where they would sell our own ancestors elsewhere. Even when Oyinbo, they told you and I to blame today. Then you have the neocolonialism, where your criminal, dark-skinned politicians, technocrat, elite continue to resell your countries back to the same colonialist. If we're asking for apology, restitution from these white people, why are we honoring those criminals who profited from this same slavery? That's why I'm sharing it with you. So pray for me that I don't get punished for it. I just can't let it go. Watch.
Look at our traditional leaders and the slave trade. We blame the whites for the slave trade we went through. We blame the whites that they offended us. They took us as slaves. But let's wait for a minute. Who sold the black man to the whites? Who sold the black man to the whites? Our own traditional leaders. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is within. If we are asking the Europeans to pacify us and also to apologize to us, our traditional leaders must be the first to apologize on behalf of their ancestors for the evil they have done against their fellow blacks. Look at our attitude towards the environment and the destruction of our water bodies. All our river bodies have turned into dark brown. And you know what they said? In the next 20 years, if we don't stop this illegal mining, Ghana, we will import water to drink. Yet we don't care. And Chinese, they will come from their country into our forest, destroy our forest, destroy our land, and illegally mine and damage our waters. How can they come if the traditional leaders didn't give them permission to do that? And in one instance, while they were dead, our military went there to protect them. Our own military that is supposed to protect us rather protected the foreigners to destroy our water and destroy our forest. The enemy is not outside, the enemy is within. If you look at our own systems and structures in our country, we don't have a better system to improve the lives of people. Pastor, I was surprised when I read in China, they had a 10-year vision, and they said from 2011, their vision was that in 10 years from 2011, and 10 years from 2011 will be what year? This year, 2021, that they will raise over 20% of the people to become multi-millionaires. Now in 2021, they have 1.8 million Chinese who are multi-millionaires in China, and they are between the age of 40 to 50 years. Multi-millionaires. The government intentionally decided that they would make sure they will have 20% of the population multi-millionaires. They also agreed that they will make sure that they will lift up the poorest of the poor. And they lifted 100 million people from begging to live a better life. But in this country, in our country, we fight our own businessmen. Our government will fight our business people. When they know that your business is thriving, and they know that perhaps you are not sympathetic towards the running party or the ruling party, they will fight you, collapse your company, and make you poor. When in China, they want to make the people rich. In Africa, we want to make our own people poor. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is within. Look at our African leaders. How much they stole, the money they stole away. We are told in Gambia, Jamal Yaha, he stole $11 million US from his own country, Gambia. Sani Abacha stole between $1 billion to $5 billion out of Nigeria. Hosni Mubarak stole $17 million US in 8 years. The enemy is not outside. The enemy to our own progress is within. Look at our presidents, the presidents who were fighting for our independence, what we did to them. In Togo, the man who fought for the independence of Togo, called Sylvanus Olympio. When Togo got independence, he decided that they would not use the French franc, the French CFA. They decided they will have their own Togo currency. And you know what? They used Iyadema to kill him and to get rid of him. When Olympians wanted to make Togo great, the enemy within, the Judas within, killed him. In Burkina Faso, the man who gave them independence, Maurice Yamego, was eliminated by his own people. When Thomas Sankara came, his own body group killed him and got rid of him. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is within. You look at our own country, Kwame Nkrumah started a new vision to develop Ghana, and who undermined him from within. They threw him out by Kotoka. Today we celebrate Kwame Nkrumah, but their own Judas will damage him. I pray that the man who organized that coup to betray Kwame Nkrumah, and for us to name our airport after him, Kotoka International Airport, I think we should start a national conversation to change the name of the Kotoka International Airport. Because as long as that name is, we have endorsed coup, we have endorsed enemies that will fight the progress of our nation. We must change the name of Kotoka International Airport to Kwame Nkrumah International Airport. The enemy is not outside, the enemy is within. We need to ask God.
The enemy is not outside, the enemy is within. A very powerful message. I mean, it's not new, but it keeps kind of, feeling new and new and new again with the happenings around us today. So I'll leave it at that. Now, Africa is where criminals are rewarded, the enemies within. Those that are being called the heroes past, especially in Nigeria, these are a bunch of criminals, opportunists, destiny killers that were never really caught because the system glorified, honored, and in fact, engraved them in our memories as heroes past. So if our heroes past worked for us to have a better life, is this the better life your heroes past work for? Because in the future, people are going to call Tifnumbu heroes past. They're going to call Obasanjo heroes past. They're going to call these past criminals and their lackeys, right? They're going to call them heroes past. They're going to ask you to play to Nigeria, your country, to be patriotic, loyal, and honest. When the rogues, the opportunists, will never be patriotic, loyal, or ever honest. So do you understand the whole cheating, the whole rigging? The system is rigged against us. If you want a balanced system that is not rigged against you, the one that is being used, that is already rigged against you, must die. Or else, we are all living on a borrowed time. We will die. And it's not going to be on our own time. It will be in the time of the rogues who have turned themselves to the demigods now. If you don't stop them, they will kill us. But until then, people like me will never stop talking. Until then, I will never stop raising your subconscious minds to the danger around you. And what you do with all this information, my brother, my darling, is completely yours. But you will never pretend that you never heard about this. Or you don't know. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, when was that? Oh, I am so surprised, yeah? When was that? You will never pretend. Because even if you pretend to everybody, when you are about to become the victims of that Nigeria, when Nigeria is about to happen to you, the voice that will keep, ringing in that your two ears is going to be the voice of Maiyegun, who told you, if you don't kill this system, it will kill us. So thank you very much. Like I said, I am so sorry I didn't take calls, okay? But better you probably enjoyed me to the last, Abby. So I am going to see you some other time. So thank you so much for your time with me this evening. And, don't forget, like the broadcast, share it, okay? And I will see you some other time. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. MaiyegunDiary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. MaiyegunDiary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. MaiyegunDiary, Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. MaiyegunDiary, Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. MaiyegunDiary, Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. MaiyegunDiary, Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí. MaiyegunDiary, Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Maiyegun Diary, Diary Politico.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Godfatherism, kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Naibi #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe.